Okay, we're going to do a little bit of final exam review for the first semester final exam. We weren't able to get together as often as maybe we would have liked here this year, obviously. So this is kind of a sort of an ad lib thing, kind of came together last minute, so it's not going to be too formal, but we'll try to get you guys through here. Try to keep it into about 45 minutes or so. So you can see the topics that we really should hit. I mean, the main thing, if you want to go through those topic headings, and actually if we look at it like this, essentially we're responsible for in this final exam, starting at lesson 412, it's everything after the midterm. So 412, we're talking conductor terminology, switches, receptacles, GFCIs, AFCIs, luminaires. We don't get a ton. I'm not a fan of that chapter. Box fill is unfortunately still with us. Series circuits is going to be a pretty big one. We're going to hit pretty hard in this review. Box sizing here once again. Series circuits again. Small appliance branch circuits. So that's your kitchen counter receptacle. So essentially, it's a lot of receptacle placement. We're going to have some switch terminology. We're going to have some GFCI stuff, and then a lot of stuff on your series circuits. So we will cover in particular in this little session, we're going to look at some receptacle placement. So that's going to be your Article 210 in the NEC. Ohm's law, particularly when it comes to having to calculate fixed resistance. So there we have, hey, I'm going to operate this device at a different voltage than what it's rated for. Those problems are not going to go away as long as you're in this class. So you might as well get used to them. But we're going to hit those again because they can be tricky. Series circuits, we're going to try to hit pretty good. That's probably going to be where we'll spend most of our time. Box fill, I hope, is a review for most people at this point, but that's a tough subject too. Switch control, I think we can make light work of. Dimmers is kind of a very minor issue. Closed closet lighting, again, minor issue, but we'll see it on the exam. Conductor terminology, that can be pretty quick, but that's worth a refresher. The voltmeter readings, that's the questions where they say, if you place your meter here and here on this circuit, what should you read? They can be tricky, but I think they're really important for sort of understanding what's going on. That's why I like those questions. Receptacle types, again, that's just hopefully a quick review, and then a little bit on GFCIs as well. So that's what we're going to be looking at in this session. Okay, so we'll start with some receptacle placement and receptacle requirements. Where do we need to put receptacles? How far apart do they need to be? Do they need to be GFCI'd? As soon as we start that conversation, your brain should go to Article 210, right? That's your branch circuit article. And again, I'm going to sort of ad-lib this. This isn't anything scripted. You're literally watching me kind of page through the NEC here. But my point is, that's the way I would handle this type of a question or these types of questions. And that's what I suggest you guys would do as well. So 210, we're in our branch circuit article. So when we come in here, first of all, branch circuits required, number of branch circuits required. That's where we start to get into these types of things. And sort of bear with me here as we go into over here. We're in 210 dot. Let's get back here to 210.11 C is where we really get into this stuff pretty heavy. And again, notice this is talking about dwelling units. So I want to stress again, we're talking about residential here when we talk about most of these receptacle placements. So, right away we're talking about dwelling units, and if we look, we're actually here, branch circuits required. So we have number of circuits, load evenly proportional. But what we're really looking at here is this section here, 210.11C, branch circuits required for dwelling units. Small appliance branch circuits. So bottom line, we're talking about kitchen counters. We need a minimum of 2 small appliance branch circuits. Right there it is, right? 20 amp, minimum of 2. For laundry, we're going to need a minimum of 1. So here we are, at least 1. And again, 20 amp for the laundry area. Bathrooms, this one can get a little bit tricky. Essentially here, so basically 1 or more 120, 20 amp branch circuits should be provided to supply bathrooms. Now the question may come up, can I put my lights on that circuit? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. Short answer is if that circuit stays in one bathroom, so your receptacle circuit goes to one bathroom, we can feed the lights in that same bathroom as long as it's confined to that one bathroom. But I could also take one receptacle circuit for my upstairs bathroom and run that same circuit to do my downstairs bathroom. In that case, as soon as we're doing something outside of that one bathroom, it's got to be dedicated to just our receptacles. And then next we get into the garage branch circuit. You're not really going to see too much of that on the test, I don't believe. But again, more importantly, know where to look this stuff up, I think is a bigger issue. Arc fault circuit interrupters, we should point out. Essentially, we got to have them almost everywhere. Let's just kind of run through the list here. What do we have, right? They shall be installed in dwelling unit, kitchens, family rooms, dining rooms, living rooms, parlors, libraries, dens, bedrooms, sunrooms. The list goes on. You guys can read it there. We used to say you need them anywhere that you don't need GFIs. We can't say that anymore because they added in here our kitchens, right? So now it's basically anywhere you don't need GFIs, you need an arc fault and in the kitchen. So really what's left off of here, right? If we look, we don't have, we don't have bathrooms, we don't have garages, we don't have unfinished basements. So they're kind of giving us a reprieve there, right? So here's where we get into some more pertinent items. So I'm over here in 210.52. Hopefully you're very familiar with that section of the code. Essentially, dwelling unit receptacle outlets, we're going to learn more about our spacing basically here, right? So, in general, what do we say? No wall space shall be more than 6 feet from a receptacle outlet. In other words, our receptacles can be 12 feet apart. In other words, if I start at a door, which breaks up a wall space, if I start at a door, I can go 6 feet in either direction and I need to hit a receptacle. The rule of thumb, the way to think about this, you take a floor lamp with a 6-foot cord. Wherever I put that in a room, I need to be able to hit an outlet with it. So the official terminology, no wall space can be more than 6 foot from a receptacle. Layman's terms, receptacles can be 12 feet apart from one another. A wall space, any wall space 2 foot or greater needs a receptacle. And now here we're talking about our general rooms. We're talking about living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms. We're not talking about the specific use areas that are picked up later on here. Particularly that's going to be your kitchen, particularly it's going to be your bathroom. Laundry room is going to be one of those guys. So that's, I think, most of what you're going to see on the test as far as that goes. Let's jump over here to your small appliance circuits up here. Similar logic, but the spacing tightens up basically. So basically for our small appliance branch circuits, we're going to get in here and essentially, bear with me here. So countertops and work surfaces. How far apart do our countertop receptacles have to be? Again, same logic, except this time no wall space shall be, sorry, bear with me here. So in this case, when we're on your kitchen countertop, any wall space that is 12 inches or wider is considered a space that requires a receptacle. If we're less than 12 inches, we don't need a receptacle in there. Moving on over here, receptacle shall be installed so no point along the wall line is more than 24 inches from a receptacle. So same logic, no wall space can be more than 24 inches from a receptacle. In other words, receptacles can now be 4 feet apart on our kitchen countertops, right? They get into some specifics on islands, peninsulas. I don't believe you're going to see that on the exam.